Hi children, now we are going to discussing about the people and migration chapter 8. Here given one story about Ramaya. Ramaya, a migrant teacher in Hyderabad. My parents and grandparents lived for many years in Sankeshwara village, Mandal, Auk, Kurnool district. They depending on bore wells for irrigation, their land to cultivate. Mainly mirchi, paddy and cotton. Sankeshwara is 79 kilometers away from Kurnool. With more than 400 houses and a population 1800. Most of the population here depending upon agriculture. In my childhood days, there was no transport or road facilities to come from Sankeshwara to Kurnool, or even Nanjala, which is about 57 kilometers away. During the 1970s, our village had a government primary school with students studying classes only first to third class. Now it is upgraded up to fifth class. Later I studied classes 4 to 7 in Ramapuram, a nearby village. For 8th to 10th class I went to government high school in Auk, which is about 20 kilometers from Sankeshwara. During this time I stayed in government running hostel. I came to Kurnool for my intermediate and then completed the teacher training certificate course in government institution. A friend helped me to apply for the course and also advised where do you stay in Kurnool. I got a job as a government school teacher in 1983 and I was posted at Channampalli in Kurnool district, which is 25 kilometers away from the Sankeshwara village. After 2 years I was posted in another village school where I worked for 5.5 years. During all these days my family resided in Banaganapalli. In 2004, I was again moved to Kurnool. For the last 10 years, we are not doing any farming. My land has been given on lease to another person residing in Sankeshwara. He pays some money to us and cultivate cotton. Most families who own land during my childhood have migrated to cities. This is the story of Ramaya as a migrant teacher. Not just this teacher, but also hundreds and thousands of people moved to urban location for education or employment or better opportunities. We can easily to understand the meaning of the migration from the story of Ramaya. Migration means the people moving one place to another place. Migration arises out of various social, economical or political reasons. For identifying as a migrant, 2 criteria are used by the census: birthplace and residence. Birthplace means the place where the person was born, and last usual place of residence, that means a place where the person had stayed continuously for a period of 6 months or more. In India, according to census 2001, about 307 million people have been reported as a migrants. Migrants mostly common for female is marriage. Most common reason for the male person's employment. Most of the people migrating one place to another place for education, employment opportunities. Most migrants move only for short distance. Out of the 307 million migrants, about 259 millions, that means 84.2% migrating within the state. That means from village to town, from town to village within the state. Only 13% people migrating from one state to other state. Here given one table, migration in India according to 2001 census. Here given total migrants 29.9, but 84.2% only within the state only, and from state to state 13.8% only, and migrating from one country to another country only 2%. Look at the maps. 3 maps given here depict the migration of the people across the state in north, east, west or southern part of the India during the last decade. That means 2001 to 2011, people moved from states such as Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha, Uttarakhand and Tamil Nadu people migrate to Delhi, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Haryana, Punjab and Karnataka. Now we are going to discussing about the most important topic, rural to urban migration. Most of the people migrating from rural to urban areas because agriculture is a seasonal occupation. People migrate from rural area mainly due to the insufficient employment opportunities and inadequate income available in rural employment. People also migrating with the expectation of higher income and more opportunities for family members and more better service, example hospitals, recreation activities and education facilities. Urban migrating peoples generally settle outskirts of the cities. They temporarily arranged their housing facilities. There is no adequate water facilities or current, power, road, and they are living in unhygienic conditions. There is no sanitation facilities. These areas known as slums. These people are not able to find in the organized sector. The most of the people joining in unorganized sector. They working as hawkers, painters, repair persons, rickshaw pullers, construction workers. In this lesson, remittance is the important terminology. Remittance means the money sent by migrants from their destination. It means who are staying in the urban and cities or foreign countries, they sending money to their families who are staying in the rural areas. It is important means of supplementing or generating additional income for the rural families. Look at the graph. It shows how the number of persons increasing in urban areas. Cities and towns during the last 5 decades 1961 to 2011 in India. During the 1961-71, the population living in the urban areas increasing by 30 millions. Look at the map. Green color indicates naturally increasing population in the urban and cities. Red color indicates expansion of the urban areas and blue color indicates migration from rural to urban areas. Look at the graph 1961 and 71, the migration from the rural to urban 6% and next 10 years 10 millions and 1981-1991 13 millions, 1991-2001 14 millions and 2001 to 2011 22 millions. That means year by year urban migration increasing. During 2001-2011 there were 91 millions increasing, 40 plus 29 plus 22 people added in the urban population. In 1961 and 71 only 31 millions. Now it is gone up to 91 millions. Now we are discussing about the seasonal and temporary migrations. This type of migration we can see in agriculture sector and plantation. According to National Census Survey, every fourth person in India is migrated. Here given one example, sugarcane cutters of Maharashtra. Thus thousands of people coming from the various states to the Maharashtra for sugarcane cutting. Maharashtra is one of the popular state of India which is produce sugar. It has 186 cooperative sugar factories. The large scale sugar cane cultivation began here in early 1970s after the Koyna Dam was built. A study estimated that about 6,50,000 laborers migrating from the central to western Maharashtra for sugarcane cutting. Each year of these around 2 lakhs are children in the elementary schools aged 6 to 14 years. They came with their family members. This migration leads to dropout in the schools. During the sugarcane seasons, thousands of families coming from the various states. Each family is provided with bamboo mat and poles, which are converted into the small conical huts. These are known as kopis. Kopi settlements we can see nearby the factories, sometimes outskirts of the cities. Tire center settlements have a 200 to 500 kopis, and Gadi centers have 50 to 100 kopis. The kopis are cramped together and bullocks are parked in front of the kopis. Animals and human living together in congested conditions. Now we have to know how the sugarcane cutters in Maharashtra move from one rural area to another. Seasonal migration we can see in agriculture and plantation, bricks kilns, quarries, construction sites, and fish processing. Study of the rice producing belt of West Bengal. West Bengal is the first place in rice production. In the late 1990s, most of the tribal and other low caste moved to Bardhan district during the harvesting season. Male from Savara tribals have a long history of migrating to work in Assam tea plantation. Munda and Santal men migrating to work in mining sites in Odisha. Nearly 50,000 women from Kerala migrates annually to work in fish processing industries of Maharashtra. Not only Tamil Nadu, at present to Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, thousands of women coming from the Kerala for fish processing. For the construction work, most urban areas depends on the migrants workers who are coming from the rural area. It is also common to see migrants selling plastic goods, vegetables, rickshaw pullers, auto drivers, engaging other petty business. Most of the people coming from the tribal communities and from drought prone areas, mainly they belong to the ST, SC, OBC. The National Commission of Rural Labour in its report 1919 found the two main reasons for the seasonal migration, mainly uneven development in rural areas and regional disparities. Look at the pie diagram, social background of short-term migrants in India 2007 and 8. Look at the pie diagram, 19% belongs to the SCs and 23% from the STs, 40% from the OBCs, 18% from the others migrating to other areas. Now we'll discuss what happens when the people migrating. Migrating labor spend more on food. They can't get food grains from the ration markets or trade shops at the workplaces. Why? Because they don't have any ration cards or rice cards. Most of the people living in unhygienic conditions, they suffer from the health problems. These are most belongs to quarries and brick kilns, construction workers and mines. They suffer from body ache, sunstroke, skin irritation and lung diseases. When employers do not follow safety measures, accidents in industrial areas because they are working in unorganized sector. In case of women migrants workers, there is no maternity leave. This means they have to go back to work very soon after childbirth. When the families migrate, the children accompanying their parents do not have creche facilities. That means creche means child care centers. Grown up children are not able to continue their studies at their parents' new workplaces. The school in their native place refused to take them again when they came back. Finally, they became dropouts from the schools. Young girls in such families are required to make care of siblings. Most of the migrants and particularly those going for long term send remittance. Nearly 1/3 of the households depends on the remittance in India. Remittance means the sending money by the migrating labor for their families. With that money, in the rural areas, the people buying new houses, land, agricultural machinery, etc. Look at the pictures. National boundaries are protected against migrants. Till today, some people without having passports and visa and illegally crossing the borders. That's why they are kept borders between the countries. Example, USA and Mexican border. In picture B, the border between South Korea and North Korea. Third picture, the border between India and Bangladesh. Migrations are two types, internal migration and international migration. Up to now we discussed internal migration. Internal migration means within the country moving one place to another place. But international migration means the people moving from one country to another country. One third of the world's 200 million international migrants, less than 70 million people, according to the UNDP, that means United National Development Program, moved from one developing country to another. In India, two types of international migrations. First one, skilled workers, next semi-skilled workers. Most of skilled workers belongs to the educated or professionals, mainly doctors, IT professionals, people with the technical skills and professionals, experts have migrated to the developed countries such as USA, Canada, England, Australia and other development countries. Mainly IT professionals, doctors and management professionals are example of this type. The second type of international migration is unskilled and semi-skilled. These workers migrate to the mainly Arab countries. These workers belongs to the uneducated mainly. Most of these people migrating to oil exporting countries of West Asia and Arab countries like Saudi Arabia, UAE, United Arab Emirates, Dubai, Qatar, etc. Nearly 3/5 of the workers going to the West Asia are from Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. A study has shown that nearly 1/5 of the total income of Kerala is accounted for by the remittance sent by its workers from the West Asia. We are going to discussing about the Immigration Act 1983. It is the Indian law governing migration and employment of India abroad. It is also lay out conditions to safeguard the interest of the workers emigrating for employment. Embassies are set up by the Indian government in different countries are expected to follow the legal procedure and protect the welfare of the international migrants are given in the Immigration Act. Look at the table. Kerala got 75,000 crores from the foreigners in the form of remittance. Kerala has set a new record in remittance this year. The over 2.5 million Kerala people living outside the country and contribute over 35% of the GDP of the Kerala.